Hey you guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. That way you're notified when I go live or when I upload a new video. And so here we are back with another video. As of today's date, this crime occurred December 9th. And we are so many days out now, and there still has not been an arrest in the Robert Brooks case. I've seen where more and more content creators are starting to pick up on this case, and they're starting to, really get it out there in the public, and we need to keep it out here in the public so that, we need to keep reporting on it because this is serious. This cannot continue to happen. And this case, these criminals need to be brought to justice. And the fact that there's still not an arrest, it's unbelievable. Now, personally, I've written to the FBI spokesperson for the media who handles, for speaking out and saying what's going on in the cases. I've only got one email back so far to say that she is on vacation, or not, the holiday vacation, and not coming back into the office until January 2nd. I hope to hear something back from her. I only had one question for her. I wanted to know, why have they not been arrested? Why have these criminals not been arrested? It's simple. I mean, you didn't want to ruin their holiday with their families. What's the problem? I mean, Robert Brooks' family, I'm sure, is not celebrating this holiday. Now, do I think that they're going to arrest them or bring on some charges? I think so. Just because, it's possible, because they're going to end up costing that state a lot of money, because by the time, and I'm sure, and I don't know for sure, but I'm sure, and if I were them, I would sue them for everything they have. The city, the state, everything. Because even if they win they can win millions of dollars. That is not going to bring their son back. That's not going to bring their cousin back. That's not going to bring back their brother. That's not going to bring back this person. And so if they're brought up on any charges, that will be the only reason why. Because the family is going to end up suing and getting a lot of money out of it, and they're not going to like that. And so the fact that, and this is in my opinion, the fact that they have not made an arrest yet, this is a slap in the face to his family. And I can't speak for his family. I can't, but my heart goes out to them. I couldn't imagine having a loved one in the penitentiary, and then knowing what they did to that person, and then have to sit and watch it on video. And they did. I could not imagine the pain that they must have felt when they had to sit there and watch this. I can't even say what it really was because it was so bad. And unfortunately, on certain platforms, you're not allowed to say what something is. Now, these officers, when they were doing this, they were doing it in a way that let you know that they knew what they were doing and they have done it before. That they are very good at what they do. They're used to handling these inmates in such a horrific way. I've read an article where a man came out and he was a prisoner, and he was there during a time when officers came in and raided the whole unit on his cell block. They beat them horrifically. They just kept doing that to them. And then some of the officers ended up, I can't say the word, Sodom, some of the prisoners. And when they removed this man's clothes, his pants and his clothing, all kinds of things went through my head. Like, why would you do that? Why would you take his clothes off? You even took his sock off and stuck it in his mouth. What did you do to his body after you got done torching him? Torch, you know what I'm saying? I can't say the word. But this makes me angry. And I've tried to take time since I found out about this and I watched those disgusting videos. And I stated in my last video that I want these men, I want these dogs to face the death penalty. And I thought, were you just angry when you said that? Maybe you just take some time and relax and calm down. Maybe you don't really feel that way. Well, I've taken the time and I've relaxed, and yeah, I still feel that way. And I know I should feel bad. I don't know. Maybe I should speak to God about this, because maybe I shouldn't be feeling this way. But I'm angry. And I'm really even more angry that the family of Robert Brooks is getting a slap in the face by the fact that there's no arrest yet. And so, yeah, I still feel the same way. I still want them to face the same justice that anybody else would face if they were happen to stand in front of a jury of such a horrific crime. They would have to stand there and face If it's even legal in their state, I don't know. I need to look that up. But if it is, they need to be indicted, and they need to be arrested. They need to be tried in a court of law, and the prosecutor needs to make sure that that is on the table. And I hope she does, but I doubt it, unfortunately. But justice needs to be served. And they don't need to serve 1 or 2 years. They need to serve life, if not the death penalty. But if enough content creators are speaking out about this, and they're not letting up about it, and they keep it out there, they're going to have to listen. Because just like with the case with Nature Boy, nobody knew about him, but there were certain content creators that wouldn't stop. They wouldn't stop, and they kept on and kept on and kept on, and finally justice was served. And that's what's going to have to happen in this case. And there's going to have to be not only justice, but there's going to have to be a whole revamping of their system, the whole system of these people that's being incarcerated, because there cannot be they need to put a stop to this, and they need to make the crimes more severe for anybody who puts a hand on an inmate. They need to let these guards know that if you put your hands on an inmate in order to hurt them in any way, of course, an officer, that they have to be able to keep order in the prison. But for them to go outside of what they have been taught, and it's not even that in this case, and probably many other cases, that is not even, they didn't even go out of the book just a little bit on that. No, they completely committed tour. It was barbaric, and we don't know what else, and we probably won't find out because they're going to cover it up, in my opinion. But there is an article here that I want to read you, and I don't like them, but it's from, let's see. It is an article that I am reading from CNN, and yeah, I want to read this to you guys, and I want you guys to let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Do y'all, are you guys as shocked as I am that there's not been an arrest made? But here this article goes on to say, at least 3 of the officers involved in the fatal beating of Robert Brooks, a New York man held at the Marcy Correctional Facility in upstate New York, were previously accused of assault, according to court documents. Okay? That was obtained by CNN. Okay? The reason these officers are so cocky and they just think, and probably the beatings and things are getting worse with the inmates, is because they're not, every time they get charged with something, it's let go. They're not believing the inmates, obviously. And so if they would have tried these men and held them accountable, this probably wouldn't have happened to him, right? If they were fired and jailed and held accountable on these previous charges, this never would have happened. I mean, is this where they're all covering for each other and, you know, like you're an inmate, you're nothing, you're a piece of crap, so we're going to take the word over the guard over the inmate? I mean, it's unbelievable. And if you have anybody that's in jail, or if they're and sorry about that, I just had a phone call, or if they're incarcerated, you need to check on them. And I hope you do. I hope, because there's nobody that speaks out for them. So let's go ahead and read this. Okay. The officers were among 14 staff named by the Department of Corrections related to Brooks' death. None of the officers have been charged with wrongdoing. See, there you go. So that shows you that they continue to think they're it's pretty much like given permission, because it's like, oh, you did that, but we're just not going to believe anything the inmate says, so we're not going to even bring charges up or anything, or find you guilty. So that they get a boost from that, and it's like a license to keep doing it. But then when they keep doing it, it's going to keep getting worse. CNN has not been able to confirm the identities of the officers shown in the video, or, well, I know their names. I mean, how have they not been able to find the identities? Because it's easy to find. Well, for me it was. Or what specific role each named person is alleged to have had. Body-worn camera footage released Friday shows correctional officers at the facility. Just, it's going on to say, punching and kicking Brooks with his hands cuffed behind his back in a medical examination room. The fatal beating is now under investigation by the New York Attorney General and Governor Kathy Hochul, which, you know, maybe I emailed the wrong people, but I think the FBI is also investigating this. This is why I emailed them. But for those of you that want to email someone to ask questions about this case, or to ask why they have not been arrested, I guess you could probably email the New York Attorney General or the Governor, Kathy Hochul, and that's spelled Hochul. You know, just ask, why have they not been arrested? It's just a simple question. And has called for those involved to be fired. That's disgusting. Every time I hear that, it's disgusting. They've called for them to be fired. Well, why haven't you been calling on for them to be arrested? That's the question. I'm sure everybody's still kind of shocked and in disbelief that these criminals have not been arrested. Federal officials are also looking into the case. The FBI Albany field office, and that's who I emailed, and the Department of Justice are reviewing the facts and circumstances surrounding the death of Robert Brooks to determine the appropriate federal response. There's nothing to determine here. I mean, you bring them up on federal criminal charges. right? You want to be a federal employee when you break a federal crime, committing a federal murder. Yeah, that, in my opinion, that needs to be death penalty, right? Common sense. The FBI said in a statement to CNN, none of the officers or their representatives have commented since the video came to light. CNN has reached out to the officers for comment. However, the Correctional Officers Union, which typically speak on behalf of prison employees, issued a statement that described the footage as incomprehensible, to say the least, and certainly not relative of the great work that the vast majority of our membership conducts every day. Well, that was 14 of them. I mean, that was quite a bit. I mean, if 14 of them's doing it, I'm sure there's some good ones, but I think maybe if I had to take a guess, I would say that not a big percentage is doing a great job, and that's just my opinion. But it says 2 of the New York officers, Sergeant Glenn Trombley and Officer Anthony Farina, were named in a complaint filed in federal court in 2002 based on a 2020 incident. Sorry about that, guys. Which occurred at the same prison where Brooks died. The complaint alleges that as another commercial officer beat a handcuffed inmate at the correctional facility, Trombley and Farina looked on and failed to intervene in any manner to prevent or stop it, leaving the plaintiff with permanently facial deformity. The case remains pending. So, I mean, this goes on to talk about the different cases that, that officers are being brought up on, but they're not held accountable for. And so we have got to hold these people, I hate to call them people, human, but we got to hold them accountable. We got to keep on their necks, keep asking why there's not an arrest. Email the New York Attorney General, email the Albany, New York FBI, email whoever you want to email, and just ask them, why has there not been an arrest? Because they have to know that the people want justice. We want justice for the family of this man, and I cannot even believe this can happen. This is crazy. This is it's unacceptable. It's unbelievable. And this cannot be allowed to happen again. The laws have got to change to make these officers more accountable for their actions, and justice needs to be severely had in this case in order to show the other correctional officers that this is not going to be tolerated, and this is what's going to happen if you do this. So leave in the comment section, let me know what y'all think. I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday. Let me know in the comment section what you guys did for Christmas, and God bless.